All right, Bones. Luis Suarez is in hot water with the Italian authorities after allegedly cheating on his Italian passport exam after a failed move to Juventus.
Yeah, Wolfie, it sounds like that decision really came back to bite him in the ass.
I'm fucking done. That's it. That's the end of this podcast. All right, and we're back. I'm Wolfie. I'm here with Bones. I'm a former professional footballer. Bones here, an avid football follower.
Former
fanatic.
professional basketball player.
Yeah,
I don't
doesn't
think
have a whole lot to do with
I don't
this.
know if it's relevant.
Yeah. So you're going to take his word on everything he says here. But if you're looking for football content, interested in anything football related, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Go ahead and hit the like button, share it, do whatever. Leave a comment on our videos.
Yeah.
We love to get back to you guys.
Right, and also if you're looking for unique nicknames, I got the name Bones because I dug up your family's dog and brought it to school the one time.
Okay. Yeah. Or if you're looking for a nice one-night stand with a prostitute, they seem to love our videos.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pick yourself
The
up one of those.
spammers that hit us hard.
Yeah.
Thank everyone that stuck it out.
Yeah.
I like the one. I love minute 14 when there was 11-minute video. That's how you know they care.
Yeah. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and go ahead and talk football with us. So Bones, let's get right into it. This past weekend, finally the first weekend in the EPL that we got to see every team in action. So I'm talking about Manchester City, Manchester United back in action, and all the other teams, of course. But Bones, the weekend highlighted by the Chelsea-Liverpool matchup.
Right.
Saw Liverpool come out on top in that one. So my question, Bones, has to do with that match in particular, or one of the clubs in that match in particular. That's Chelsea.
Okay. You're really breaking this down.
Yeah. Well, I want to make it easy for you.
Brick by brick.
Yeah.
Okay.
My question for you then, Bones, is Frank Lampard the right man for the Chelsea job?
Absolutely. Had 5 of 11 starters out, and my calculations, 45% of them started and 11 out. And Frank is the burning bush of the EPL. He draws everyone in, whether it's real or not, whether we believe that story or not. And he draws all his players in because there's something about him. He gets it done. Like, Ole can't do it, obviously. No other clubs in the EPL could bring in the talent he's bringing in. Even Man City. I mean, my God, he brought in Pulisic, Ziyech, Werner. You want me to keep going?
Yes.
Chilwell. And now they just got this goalie from Rennes. Everyone wants to be a part of it. And then Thiago Silva's old ass with his hot-ass lips. They all want to be there.
Your mastery of the subject matter and your arguments are so succinctly put.
Yeah.
It's a thing of beauty.
I agree. I mean, recruitment is 90% of sports. We all know it.
Yeah, clearly not if you're losing to the teams that you're competing with.
Can John Calipari coach? No. He wins national championships. It doesn't matter. He's got the players now. There's a ticky-tacky.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
The tactics are so...
Tell Roman Abramovich that, hey, I know you just dropped over $200 million on players,
yeah,
but you know what? At least we got those players. If they lose, so be it. But at least we got them.
I would love to talk to that bitch.
He would have you in the back of some like Russian mobster's car.
Good.
So quick. By the way, a couple of Russians have been watching the videos.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
maybe Roman.
You know what I've heard about Russians?
What's
if
that?
they're torturing you, laugh, they let you go. So that's just...
I don't believe that. Yeah, so...
No, but my point... All right, here's my real point.
Yeah.
So they have constructed a top 2 roster in the EPL right now. I think talent-wise, they're ahead of Liverpool. And he hasn't had...
Liverpool, talent-wise.
I think talent-wise, yeah. I mean, Liverpool's stacked. I'll give it to him. But Chelsea is deep, and they are young, and they are talented, and they like to attack. And I don't know how you can argue against him until he has his full set of horses. Is he Klopp or of course not right now.
Yeah, I mean, going off this past weekend's match, yes, we could say it's way too early to make a decision on this season. Yeah, every team is going to drop points this season. But Bones, you got pen and paper out? Maybe a calculator?
I don't need any of that stuff.
All right. So every team plays 38 matches in the EPL, right?
Right, 114.
There we go. I knew exactly where I was going, yeah. So possible 114 points up for grabs. The last 3 winners of the EPL finished with 99 points, 98 points, and 100 points.
Correct. I don't think Chelsea wins the league.
So say 100 point, and I don't know. We're not saying that. I think we're saying that the winner of the EPL this year is probably going to be somewhere around that 100 point mark, right? 95 to above.
I don't see Man City being below 95.
Yeah. So not that many points are available to drop. Now Chelsea can only max out at 111 points if we believe that's going to happen.
Okay.
No chance that's happening.
Yeah, I don't. I mean,
yeah, it's 114.
No, we're just talking about it.
Yeah. So that being said, the question is Frank Lampard the right man for the job for this Chelsea team right now? Is it too early to decide? My point is, we kind of have to decide soon, or Roman Abramovich is going to kind of have to decide soon if his ambition is to win the league this year.
Is this guy just off people? No, I'm terrified of this guy.
I mean, he's got a quick trigger.
All right.
So, and then we look at Frank Lampard's, and we don't even have to focus on this match. If we go back, Frank Lampard's, for one, he's a kind of a newer manager in terms, he had the year at Derby. This is his now second year at Chelsea. And even at Derby County, finished 6th in the championship, had a deep run in the championship playoff, which really kind of...
Yeah, I mean, Sunderland made that year, so it's not a big compliment.
I think that says it all.
Yeah.
Which
maybe not that year.
They made it in League One.
Right, yeah.
League One, sorry.
Gosh.
Yeah, so...
The levels of hell, there's not much difference.
Yeah, tell that to Dante.
Yeah, Sunderland's Inferno.
Yeah, So finished 6th with Derby County, which, okay, decent performance. Really, though, helped himself by a deep run in the playoff. But as we've seen, any team that gets hot in like a one-off situation, a playoff type scenario, is that really a reflection on how great you are as a manager?
Yeah, I mean, we see it in Champions League every year. Someone catches fire.
Yeah, so it happens. Lyon, good players, but either way. So you can kind of discount what he did at Derby County. And then even last year at Chelsea, he received a lot of acclaim or praise for his job at Chelsea. But he took over for our boy Sarri back here after Sarri finished 2nd with that Chelsea squad. And then on 91 points, which I believe was a record for the second for the most points ever by a second-place finisher in the Premier League. And then Lampard took pretty much that same team and finished 4th last season.
Yeah, I mean, so I have to agree that Sarri, he is just getting murdered.
He's taking some hits.
He hasn't really done anything wrong. He won the league with Juventus, finished 2nd with Chelsea. But I think you have to give him, like you said, he's a new manager. You have to give him some time. I think this year, if they finish 4th, it's still a successful year. You stay in the Champions League. And then
over $200 million worth of investment.
Yeah, but you're building this team. Everyone's young. No one's retiring after this season. I mean, my God, what's the rush?
Silva, man.
Here's your
He's
hat.
got a 2-year contract.
Here's your hat. What's your hurry? You can find another center back that's better than Silva.
Yeah. So I think I wasn't on the Frank Lampard out, and I'm still not sure that I'm on the Frank Lampard needs to leave train. But really looking into his coaching history and his managerial experience was really just prompted by this past weekend's match and his tactics and his insistence on using Mason Mount when when Pulisic seems to be out, or in some cases last season,
Pulisic
was still healthy.
That was unbelievable.
And even after when Pulisic was in good form, remember the Liverpool matchup last season?
Yeah, he didn't play.
Played him over Pulisic in that matchup. So his insistence on playing Mason Mount out wide in either a 3-5-2 or even like a 4-3-3 in some instances, and he just doesn't look comfortable. And honestly, it's not even that Mason Mount doesn't look comfortable out there, but the team doesn't look comfortable as a whole. I think it's just highlighted by Mason Mount's performance when it's out there. So I just don't understand his insistence on the Mason Mount inclusion and using that formation when it seems like it's been proven already. Like, you got to drop it.
Yeah, and if he starts Mason Mount when they have their full squad, I will completely change my position. But right now, I just look at that lineup. Pulisic, Ziyech, Werner, Havertz playing underneath. And then you have Kovacic, Jorginho, and Conte. And I think we got to give that a chance.
And then Mendy in goal.
Confirmed. And I mean, that mistake by Kepa, my God.
I will say, if you look at Frank Lampard, and again, we're doing all this because of this past weekend's match against Liverpool.
Well, in Brighton, they didn't look great.
Yeah, and Brighton.
I'll throw you a bone.
Thanks, Benz. Outpossessed by Brighton, 60%. Really, it took a Reece James absolute BB, his first goal in the Premier League, and then kind of a lucky goal from Zuma, and then a bad giveaway from Brighton and Hove for Chelsea to beat them, even though they were still outpossessed 60%. You would think with that much money, that many superstars trying to play progressive football, being outpossessed by Brighton and Hove is not how you want to start that.
They're not conservatives.
Yeah, and then
this isn't Reagan's football.
But that being said, if you look at this past weekend's performance against Liverpool, the reigning champions, a team that you would think Liverpool probably has more continuity than any other team going into this shortened off season, really didn't do anything except for adding Thiago. And he played in the second half and looked great.
Yeah,
except for the penalty.
Player of the year getting phased out of Liverpool. That's going to be painful.
Tough business.
For the Hendersons.
Tough business. Tough business. Hey, Sunderland's looking for a D-mid.
Yeah, we could
come on back home. Come home, big guy. But you look at that matchup, and really, if it weren't for the fact Kepa's absolute mistake, Jorginho's penalty miss,
and then Christian tackling Mane.
Yeah.
Stevie, you played football, and this is a question I've had for years. I don't understand taking a red card there. Even if you thought it's an automatic goal, it doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't.
Like, what are you're taking yourself out in the first half? It's never an automatic goal, by the way. But say it was a 70% chance he scores there. I'd much rather have that chance than you just taking yourself. He tackled him.
Yeah, it was a terrible play. I think, there was a lot of things that went wrong. First off, the whole start was a Jordan Henderson long ball from his own half straight up the pipe, like dead straight. There's an angle from behind Jordan Henderson.
Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. That's a ball. Somehow the two center backs between Zuma and Christensen just let Sadio Mane post up right in between the two and just have a free run.
Right.
Like, that doesn't happen on a U9, under 9 soccer team. You get pissed at those kids. So I don't understand. That's just, it's Bush League Bones.
Yeah.
And then Christensen, I don't know. I think maybe the only saving grace is you can excuse for him. You can say is like maybe he thought he was outside the box or something.
Right,
like,
or
like
automatic goal.
I don't know. It was clearly stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully, though, if you're a Chelsea fan, you have Thiago Silva coming in. You think with his experience and everything he's been through, he's not going to let something like that happen. Because that had nothing to do with like pace or anything. It was just fucking stupid.
Yeah, but I am a little bit away from the topic, but I'm so glad they got a new goalie. Because as a sports fan, football in particular, with the hate and criticism they get, it's such a fine line between rooting against someone, like you're rooting for Kepa to fail, and all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, this guy's 21. He's probably getting thousands of DMs a day from these nutjob British fans. And I know he's rich and he's good looking. I don't feel I wouldn't say I feel bad for him, but his mental state right now, he tried to chip that ball over one of the best players in the world, and Mane was just like, okay. And then it's just like, good God.
Personally, I sent him 6 today. So I'm starting to trail off a little bit on those.
I was like, the highest bridge in London is.
Go ahead.
If you were wondering. But it's at some point, it's not fun anymore to root against him.
Yeah. No.
So I'm happy for him to just be in the stands, or maybe like the Liverpool goalie, send him to Turkey.
Yeah. Yeah, just exile.
Yeah, exactly.
But Buzz, that brings up an interesting question, and we talked about this a little bit off air. So if Frank Lampard, where would you rank him? So if we think Chelsea has to finish top 4, where would you rank Frank Lampard right now in list of just EPL managers?
And that's a weird question. If we're just talking about tactics, no recruitment.
I think you can include it all.
Well, if we're including the team he constructed, I think I'm going to put him 4th. If we're just going straight tactics right now, I think I'd have him at 8th.
So, yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm around 7 or 8, Benz, for me. If we look at it, I think you and I both agree, Klopp and Pep, You can have them. We don't have to do it in order. Klopp and Pep.
Bielsa.
1 and 2 probably. Bielsa's in there as well.
I think you disagree, but I did DeSanta. I mean, if I just had a one-off.
Espirito, okay, for you. I'm not going that far yet with Frank.
Tactically, I'd put Brendan Rodgers ahead of him. I know he's snake-bitten, but he, I mean...
Leicester's 2-0.
Yeah, and they were, I mean, last year they should not have ever been top 4.
Yeah, so Brendan Rodgers for you. Again, I'm not quite going that far, but again, so we can keep going though. We have Klopp, we have Bielsa. I'll go Carlo Ancelotti for Everton right now. His pedigree, won Champions League with AC Milan. Has done a lot in the Italian game.
What about the special one?
I'll go Jose Mourinho for sure.
Okay.
Just based on his resume. And Spurs actually looked good last game for at least the second half. So maybe he's turned things around.
So because you could just do the old Catholic Church off with his head when they broke off.
What?
What? Like with the wife, she got. I'm talking about the Church of England actually. The wife got pregnant, doesn't produce a son. So like he's brought all this talent. You don't need to keep him around.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like the Henry VIII. He killed all his wives because they could get pregnant, but they couldn't produce a son. So he's brought all these players in. Do you get rid of them now because you need someone to manage them?
Yeah,
because their players are stuck. They can't just leave.
That's the question. I mean,
do you chop his head off in public and put it on a steak?
No, I do not.
Okay.
No, I do.
That's where I was going. Okay.
I question whether Frank Lampard is the man for the job. I actually don't think he is. We talked about it, and you mentioned it, Bones, that he has to grow into being a manager. He's still a relatively new manager. Unfortunately for him, Chelsea is just not a place where you grow. It's not one of those jobs.
You're already there.
Yeah, you have to produce, especially when you're Roman Abramovich is just forked out over $200 million in this offseason.
You don't mess with a man like that. So my question to you is: say they finish 5th, which I don't think is happening.
He's fucking gone. No chance.
You think he's gone?
Yeah, no chance he stays on if he finishes 5th. I think if he finishes 4th, then he has a chance to stay, and it'll all be based on kind of his style of play, whether it's entertaining and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe even a Champions League run, see how he does in cup competitions. But I really think the expectations for Frank Lampard are 1st or 2nd. I mean, the investment's there.
And my last question is, what type of heat do you think he begins to catch in the media? I'm sure he's already catching some.
He's already catching a lot.
If Mount starts when they have their full squad back.
See, the sad thing is, it's not like Mason Mount's telling Frank, like, hey, go play me out wide.
No, right.
Like,
but I'm saying if he
like,
starts anywhere, like you can't start him. Who would he start over?
I mean, I wouldn't start him anywhere either. I could see him, like, if you are going to start him, though, I think it's clear that his best position is either is probably number 8. So in this past matchup, he had Jorginho at the 6. He had Kovacic and Conte as kind of 8s in like an inverted triangle. I think if you're going to start Mason Mount, you have to start him as one of those 8 positions. I think he's fine. He can pitch in with a goal here and there.
Right, but I think we both agree. Obviously, Conte's better than him. I think Kovacic is better than him.
Yeah, too. I think for Mason Mount at this point, he's a rotational player in that 3 to give those guys spells. Conte was injured a lot last season. Kovacic was player of the year. I will say this, to give Frank Lampard some credit, he did improve Kovacic. Kovacic is kind of not bounced around, but he's been at Real Madrid, didn't do a whole lot there, and really came to Chelsea. It was probably his best season as a professional. And you probably have to give Frank Lampard some credit for that.
So for me, my hope for Lampard is that he's a Zidane. He attracts all the players. He has something they want. And then he's able to manage them, talk through stuff, and just be a player's coach. But you obviously cannot do that if you're starting your son over world-class players.
Yeah. And we get it. Like, so Pulisic's hurt. Ziyech is hurt.
Right.
But that being said, you still have like Callum Hudson-Odoi on the bench.
I'd much rather him on the wing, right?
And he's a natural winger. That's what he does. And he's got tons of potential, tons of talent. There's rumors circulating that his like training habits haven't been good, and Frank Lampard's not happy with that. So there's kind of some behind the scenes angst between the two. We're obviously not at training. Do you have any sources over there?
I got a lot of sources in North London, but I don't really want to go into them this early in the season.
Okay.
Because there's a trust issue there.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on behind the scenes there, and maybe that's why Callum Hudson-Odoi didn't start. But again, this is dating back. I can see Callum Hudson-Odoi being fucking pissed off because the same thing is happening to him. This is dating back to last season. I'd start to get fucking furious too.
I will say one of the greatest things about following the EPL is when a team like this starts to go south. And we have 2 potential teams like this year. Them and Man U. And it's just story after story after story.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't stop. And you're right, Bones. It doesn't stop. And it's not going to stop this weekend. Oh, what a segue.
That was
tons of action this weekend.
Bring the pain.
Tons of action always means tons of content. So make sure you're staying up to date with it. Again, if you like anything football related, we're always talking football. We're actually going to start like a real podcast soon.
Right.
So you'll be able to listen to it on the way to work or while you're at work or whatever. So make sure you're staying up to date with all that stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all of that. And then we'll see you guys this weekend for more EPL action.